Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning.
And I'm Trinity French.
And we are your business coaches at Wired to Change.
With the number 2.
We help you get your business to the level you want it to be so you can enjoy the life of a small business owner.
And how's that life going today, Mr. Manning?
Loving it. We had a good day today, had a client meeting, had our first mastermind group. We went to BNI. Now we're here with Heather and Drago. So it's a good day.
It is a fantastic day.
And I was on vacation all last week, and you're taking a nice, long, romantic honeymoon weekend.
I am.
Coming up.
We're going glamping.
Yes,
Nice.
so we're allowed to do that because we're taking the risk of being small business owners, which there's plenty of it, but you get to call your schedule.
We do. And I'm super excited to spend 3.5 days with my honey bunny.
Yeah,
and
it's going to rain. We know it's going to go on.
Where y'all going?
Drinking.
We are going to a campground in Apex, North Carolina. I can't remember the name of it, but our dear friends Nikki and Charlie Crow set us up with their camper that they rent out for our honeymoon present /
Becky and I need
just
to
because
try
they're
that.
awesome. Yeah.
We would enjoy that.
So we're super pumped. It's going to be a lot of fun. My friend Maddie is taking care of the dogs, so it's a dog-free, kid-free weekend. Oh, cannot wait.
Yeah, let your dogs throw up on somebody else.
Oh, right.
I feel every day, Heather. Every day. Who threw up today? Well,
yeah.
Jeez.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They puke a lot.
Yeah, they do.
They will get so hungry that it's like a bile throw up. So, or if they don't want to go out and go to the bathroom, they just hold it in and then they get sick. They're weird. They're weirdos.
You took one of them out one time. They didn't pee. Came back in the house, peed immediately.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, freaking dogs.
I'm feeling pretty good about mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
Well, having a puppy, I'd forgotten what having a puppy was like. And
He was very good though when we came over.
yes, he is very well behaved. He does have a cone on right now because he won't stop licking his damn paws and his man bits, and they were all red, and the skin was
So many
starting
jokes
to get.
there.
I know.
I'm like
Starting to get a little raw, and his poor belly was all red, and so he's on all sorts of medications and shampoos and
But the reaction Trinity got, because we all knew she had 2 dogs.
Yeah.
And then she posted on Facebook, and I'm like, you're going to get a 3rd dog?
Yep, I am a glutton for punishment. Such a glutton. But Sir Elton John is settling in nicely with the family. Elvis is starting to
Well,
get
who's wearing
used
the
to him.
cone?
Sir Elton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, because I was over there yesterday, and Scott has to pick him up to take him up the steps because the cone keeps hitting the steps.
That poor dog.
I know. But he doesn't mind the cone.
That's
it
what
doesn't
Scott
bother
said.
him.
Yeah, it doesn't bother him at all.
So
Yeah, it keeps your
we're just
food
gonna-
right there. It's
We're
great.
gonna roll with it. I looked over the other day and he had a bone like in the bottom of the cone just chilling.
Yeah.
It's
right
like
there.
It's like his little personal plate.
You don't have to work for it. Yeah.
Exactly. But Heather,
Yes.
everybody that listens to the show knows that I love our male business owners, but I have a special affinity for fellow women in business. What would you say?
Ooh, no introduction.
Oh, man.
I'm not editing that out.
You're not editing
on
that
your
out.
own.
I know.
You're on your own.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys
There
and
we go.
girls, listeners of all ages, today we have a very, 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 very special guest, Miss Heather Widener with Flower Creations Rollsville, and also licensed broker at Junary Financial. Also, dear friend of us and the show, and personal friend of Trinity French, hottie patati, workout partner. Luscious, long-haired babe. What else can I say about her?
Yeah, that's pretty good right there.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Kick-ass female entrepreneur and business owner.
So tell me about
Thank
the
you.
nose ring.
I actually got this when I was 18.
A couple years ago?
Yeah,
My
maybe
story.
like a year or two.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, so my mom, when I was younger, she was like, you have such a cute nose. You should get it pierced. So I did. And I actually had this out for a long time because I thought I needed to have a professional appearance. And then I realized no one really cares if you have your nose pierced. Like,
No.
it doesn't affect anything.
No.
So earlier this year, actually, I put it back in. So, yeah.
All right, cool.
I like it. I
Thank you.
actually noticed it and commented on today also. So And
Thanks.
I don't think, especially in a creative field like what you're in.
Right.
And I mean, I guess you look at like most of my friends are like covered in tattoos and piercings.
Oh, your whole
and,
Facebook crew, your whole
Yeah.
wedding. What was it? They were either tattooed or
super ripped.
yeah. I mean, I was neither.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I mean, you know, when I was working at the university, I guess I felt like I needed to look professional and, you know, so now looking back, it wouldn't have mattered, I don't think.
Well, I love it.
Thank you.
So back to my question before I forgot to introduce you,
No
because
problem.
people are probably like, who the heck is Heather? Well, Heather is florist, dear friend, female entrepreneur. So my question for you is, what would you say has been the hardest thing to overcome as a female business owner?
Managing my time and money.
Okay. Yep. I would say that is two of the top things that any business owner would struggle with. What have you done, or what things have you put in place to help manage your time?
Using my calendar. And I know that's so simple, but now I put things on my phone and I also write them out. And I look at an actual calendar to plan out things. And I just feel so much more organized. I feel like I'm like prepared for the day or the week instead of like shit's just flying at me. I think that's helped a lot. And then with money, it's just been knowing where the money needs to be spent and also what overhead is just not necessary to make the business run.
Yeah, you should totally read the book Profit First. I've been talking about it nonstop for a couple weeks now. It's really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yep.
Were you good with money before you bought the business?
I was all right with it, but I've definitely learned to be better just because I've had to.
And it's always the little stuff that adds up, because people go, that's only an extra $3.40.
Yes.
And then $4.12, and then $7. And all of a sudden you're looking like, Jesus, $300 a month we blew in doing this, and this.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like my first year, I was spending a lot more on flowers because I was the new girl. So I was getting charged a lot more. And I didn't realize it. I didn't know any better, you know? And then as I started to learn the game, I was like, oh crap, like I could get other things from other suppliers and they're going to look out for me. And now I have really great relationships with my suppliers, and that makes a huge, huge difference.
The first vendors that you were buying from, you're not even doing business with some of them? Did they even ask, hey?
No, they're more of a nationwide supplier, so they do what they need to do to make money for their business.
Was there a shortage of inventory for you to buy when COVID hit?
Yes. Yeah. COVID totally changed everything because, I mean, you know, like Holland, they completely shut everything off and they were just dumping all of their flowers. So when you have thousands of flowers not coming in, I mean, and they were restricting travel in general, you have less planes flying, changes everything.
For how long was that window?
I would say through like March through the summer when we were really figuring things out.
Where were you getting flowers from to fulfill orders?
Still my local suppliers, and then I also have another supplier that works directly with farmers. So I get products from all over the world through them.
Yeah, I remember us looking at that website when we were picking out my wedding flowers and plants.
She got beautiful garden roses, and we got them right from Ecuador.
Yep.
So that's another thing I learned is who can I go to that's going to give me the best product right from the farm? And that's what I use now.
They were lovely.
Yes, they were.
Yes.
So for managing, and I know that managing finances and managing money, we talked about this with Becky. I mean, that is every business owner's cash flow is like what we all struggle with. And would you say that there's anything different that you think that you run into being a female business owner versus if you were a guy in the same industry?
I'm not sure, just because I don't I don't look at that as
you're
a limiting
badass
thing.
bitch,
Yeah,
yes.
like, I don't see that as a limiting factor.
When
I
somebody,
think that might be the key, though, is that you don't see that as a limiting factor, so it's not.
Right.
So your mindset around that is so powerful because a lot of people would blame things on being a woman, and you're just looking as that as, well, that's just a non-issue for you.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, if that is an obstacle, I'm going to try to overcome it,
when people meet you in the context of you getting introduced as Heather owns flower, right here, do they look at sometimes like go, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, at first, people were like, you're so young, like, what do you mean
You couldn't be that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you don't, yeah, that's actually kind of how some people treated me is,
Yep.
You're not that smart and you're so young, But I mean, I think you just have to figure out what works best for your business, because the way I run my business is different than the way my friend runs her business, who's also a florist. And she's also one of my biggest competitors, but that's actually why we became friends, because we can learn from each other and I really respect her. So, but we kind of bounce off each other as well, because she's a local florist in a small town too. So, we kind of base our prices off of each other and we'll just kind of bounce ideas off each other. How much do you charge for delivery, or what are you doing for this event? That kind of stuff.
Nice.
If you had an auditorium full of women who want to start their own business, knowing what you know now, what's the first two things you would tell them?
Go for it. And even if you're scared of something or you hate something, you should check out that outlet too. Because I never thought I would go into finance and I never thought I would go into flowers. I mean, when I went to school, I went to Meredith College, thought I was going to go into pharmaceutical sales. I was always in the health field, so that's what I thought I was going to do. So when 2007 hit, I had to pivot and I had to figure out what's going to work for me and how can I survive. So
You have a BA in interpersonal communications, and you went from the medical world to the financial world to the florist world.
Exactly.
But it's probably helped with customer service, hasn't it?
It has. And what I've actually learned about the flowers is at first I was just saw it as like, okay, I'm going to buy this business and I'm going to run it like an online business. But really it's more like therapy, because I help people with the biggest events of their life, whether it's getting married or they lost a family member or a best friend or their baby. I've helped people with all these events, and it's just way more than flowers. It's the meaning behind the flowers and the emotion. And sometimes sometimes my brides are stressed out and they're crying to me. Sometimes the family members are stressed out and they're crying to me. I've had clients fight, family members fight. I mean, it's not just flowers. So I think that the interpersonal communication, and I got my minor in psychology, I think it helps me understand people and keep people calm. And like with Trinity, I did everything I could to keep her calm.
Yep.
So, I mean, because I think when you're in those stressful situations, you just want someone to tell you it's okay and kind of lead you. So that's what I try to do.
You have a good book coming one day, don't you? Without the names?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get working on it.
You should.
So I have a just a, because I'm wondering question. It has nothing to do with business, but I figured, like if I owned an ice cream shop and I knew that the ice cream was going to go bad if nobody ate it, I'd probably take it home at night.
Right.
So do you
I
ever
see where this is going.
do you ever look at your flowers and go, man, this product's gonna die, I might as well make myself a beautiful arrangement? Or do you what do you do with your dying flowers?
That's a good question. I actually I volunteer and I donate them to an elderly home in our community. So then the senior residents, they can work with the flowers and enjoy them. So if it's something where it's not, it's not cream of the crop, like potential, like I'd put in your wedding, but it's okay, it's still alive, still kicking, then I would donate that to the nursing home so that way they can enjoy it for like a week or so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I do take I take flowers home every now and then, but not probably as much as I should, just to enjoy them. I think it's kind of like if you do something for work all day, then you don't want to keep doing it,
Like helping people buy and sell houses, and Scott's like, so when are you gonna?
And then now you're
And I'm
getting
like,
You're building a mansion.
I know.
That better be the last house you live in for a while, right?
It will be because, two people need that much room to bounce around.
Another Jeep to buy, maybe.
Yes. And it's our forever home.
I know.
So
and that's
I don't
fine,
feel,
but you're planning for that. So
but we are planning for it. It's interesting being on the other side and being my own client because it's managing Scott's expectations. It's managing the builder. It's keeping everybody on track. It's all of the going back and forth and, working through our budget and blowing our budget and reconciling what we want to keep and what we want to get rid of. So I can see that. I will not look forward to moving again if we ever have to.
that HBIC is demanding, and HBIC is demanding.
HBIC, yeah. She can be a real pain in the ass.
Do you have one of those jobs, Heather, when you're at a party and people find out what you do, they go, hey, one quick question.
Yeah.
Do you get those?
Oh, yeah. Or they'll be like, oh, I just really love working with flowers. Can I come help you? Which I'm open to people coming and helping me, and I'm open to that. The people that I had to let go, it just wasn't a good fit. So if people really do have talent and they're open to it, I mean, I've had friends come help me for free just to learn how to do it, So
I could see you and Cherie and Steph and Kate coming to help one Saturday get an order out.
Oh,
yeah.
I love working with flowers.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
And you guys would have a blast. So, and you remember the gang from the posse from the wedding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yes.
When you're at those parties, what questions, once they find out you own a floral shop, what kind of questions do you get?
Where do you get your flowers? How much do they cost? How do I start a flower shop? Do you want to buy another one?
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you want to sell yours?
Well, that's who you talk to.
Yeah.
When you're ready for that one, have a conversation with this one before you buy that one. Yeah.
Those are the kind of questions that I get, and just everything in between.
Oh, I thought it'd be more, what would you put out for this? I thought it'd be more product oriented. Like, well, I'm having this party, or what should I plant here?
Yeah, they'll do that too.
Okay,
or
right.
even if sometimes if I'm in the store and I'm checking out flowers, because sometimes I will just purchase flowers at the grocery store, and sometimes there's people there and they're lost as hell, so I'll just start telling them hey, they'll start asking me. They're like, I don't know what to do. I'm just trying to be sweet, so I'll lead them in the right direction.
All of a sudden 5 people are around you, right?
Yeah, well, I think they can just kind of tell you're on a mission, because I'm here for a reason. Let me get what I need, and then get out of here. So, but yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, Trinity, back to your question, is I do stock up on a lot of silk flowers. So just because then I can have them around my house and keep it decorated. And I do sell those as well.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, ma'am.
That's super fun.
Especially for funerals.
We should do a wreath making party.
Wreaths. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can do that.
That would be awesome.
For sure.
If somebody who didn't know you visited your house, would they know what you owned for a living?
Maybe. I've had people ask me if I'll decorate their homes after they go to my house. So they either ask if I'm in interior design or something in that sort.
Do you decorate houses?
I have, yeah. I enjoy it.
Do you?
Yeah, I think I get it from my mom. My mom, she's in construction and home decor, so.
But it makes sense if more people are home right now and you can get the right neighborhood with some discretionary income. That might be your, while I'm closed 9 to 2 on Tuesday, I'll come decorate your house.
I'm open to it.
Because they got to buy the product from you and then pay you to decorate it. So
yeah,
you can get
and I'm very open to it. I mean, I've learned a lot the past few years just about design and people's styles and working with them. So
Just put a marketing plan together and take 10%. What do you think?
Oh, this is where this is going.
Yeah, sounds like we just picked
It's a
up a new
business
client.
show, Heather.
But yeah, I mean, I'm open to it.
Makes sense.
What would you say is the greatest hurdle that you've had to overcome in general?
My mental sanity.
Okay. Does any of that have to do with the fact that you run 2 businesses?
Well, yeah, and because I think a lot of people are hard on themselves. I know I have really high expectations, or I did before, and then I kind of had to learn that I'm doing all right, and I think that that's been the hardest thing is realizing you don't have to beat yourself up, to get where you're going, because you actually do better if you realize what you're doing that's good.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, have you had those moments as a business owner?
Oh, every day. Sometimes, I mean, Scott and I have this conversation probably every couple of months. It'll start with something like this. I'll have a really shitty transaction and maybe we lose a coaching client and I'm stressed out and I probably had a night where I had some insomnia and wasn't able to sleep. And all of a sudden I'm in this mindset of, well, why don't I just go get a job? Why don't I just become a barista? Why don't I just, because I'm just so fed up with the stress of being in business.
Right.
And then Scott will look at me and say, well, don't you love going on vacation? And don't you like taking these long weekends? And da 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 da. And then before I know it, he's just repositioned everything and reminded me why I love being in business in the first place.
Right.
And then, the next couple of good paychecks comes in and I remember that, that's why I would get paid a lot is because I also have to deal with a whole lot of stress.
Yeah.
I
agree
would
with
rather
you.
have that butthead paying you $12,000 commission versus $6 for that cup at Starbucks.
Yeah, but there's definitely times when I have serious considered what would it be like to just go back and get a corporate job? And those moments are fleeting, but I think makes sense that anyone could have those when you have a day or in my case, a couple of days that go by that are just really, really hard.
Right.
Somebody asked me how business was going the other day and they're like, how's business going? And I was like, everything's hard right now. I don't have none of my transactions that I have going on are easy. Everything is complicated. I'm dealing with vendors and service providers and contractors and my clients and just a lot of stuff going on. And then we've had a big influx of new stuff going on with Wired to Change, which has been amazing. So then I want to focus on that, but I also can't drop the other stuff.
Right.
And before you know it, and then Mike's bringing me more new ideas, and I'm like,
I was going to say
salivating.
that was code for
yes.
okay, that's too many, but that one's good.
But I like this
But
one.
I really like what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think having a person or a couple of people that you can bounce that off of. I know Heather and I we'll have a couple of Trulies or a couple glasses of wine and we'll talk about what it's like being in business because it's not always rosy. It's not always as glamorous as people make it out to be.
No.
I mean, there's times when we have to make tough decisions. There's times when I was running Hunter Row where I was like, okay, I'm not going to pay myself for 3 months so I can make payroll.
Yeah.
You have to make hard decisions to make it and to balance the books and make sure that you can pay your vendors. And you might have to pay your vendors for flowers before you take a paycheck yourself. And which Profit First would say, don't do that. But I digress.
No, I completely agree with you. And that's where I'm coming from too, because sometimes other people kind of may push their stress and situations on you. And I think that's when it all kind of builds up, you know? But then I think that's where I've learned to just take the step back and be like, okay, I've made it through literally everything in my life. I'm going to make it through this too. This is going to be okay. And I mean, sometimes I have to have that conversation with my clients too, or my brides when, they're on the verge of a meltdown. Yeah. And, and I'm sitting there telling them it's going to be okay. But, I've had those rough times where, if we have a hurricane or something happens in the world, it affects the flowers. And I've had to deliver really hard news to brides, like I cannot get this flower that they were dead set on. So I've had to have those really hard conversations, and that's when it's stressful. But then when you can make it better, that's when it's like really rewarding. But I think just having to deal with the emotions of everything, because you are dealing with people,
Right.
So I think that
And we
it
are
does get hard
we are
at times.
in people businesses, and managing people is by far one of the hardest tasks that there is to do.
Yeah.
Managing the money side of everything definitely can get stressful, especially when you're a solopreneur. And at the end of the day, everything relies on us. I mean, there's no one else that's going to pick up those pieces or do it for us. We just have to be the ones that power through it.
Yeah. Definitely.
There are a lot of people that listen in big towns and small towns to the show. You are in a very small town.
Yes, I am.
Is that an advantage?
I think so. I'm the only florist in my town, and I'm right by Raleigh, so I can still get business there. I can still get business in Wake Forest, Youngsville, Zebulon, Knightdale, Bunn, Lewisburg.
The other big
Clayton.
cities around town.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere around there. So I think it's a benefit, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it because I build these relationships with my clients, and I have old men who stop by just to see me, and, and I really appreciate that because, and I know exactly what they want when they come by, or when they call. Like one of my favorite clients, he is a small business owner as well, but he's also very smooth. Like for his birthday, he sends flowers to his wife saying, thank you for being the best birthday present I could have. So men, take notes.
Nice.
That kind of stuff. Like that's what I like about it the most.
Game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice.
For sure.
All right. So we've talked about hurdles, which thank you for being real and honest with us, because I think a lot of times people see the buttoned up version and they don't see the times that we're like mascara running down my face because I'm so stressed out.
Or you're up till 4 a.m. because you have so much going on that you literally can't let someone down. So you're pushing as hard as you can to make everything happen.
Exactly.
And I think that's when we get to those points because we are giving so much, that it... After that, you're like, okay, cool. I made that. Perfect.
And as I always say, it can't kill you.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it can't kill you.
And you're rhetorically asking, whose idea was this?
Well, I think also going with that, I've had a situation that almost killed me and it didn't. And I think after that, I was just kind of like, all right, let's fucking do this.
When did you almost have
with my blood clot when we were playing kickball?
Yes, I forgot about that.
Oh.
Yes. So I was on a boat and the boat hit a large wake and I flew in the air and I got injured from that. And from those injuries, I got a blood clot, which got caught in my armpit actually. So it did not go into my heart. If it had, I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow.
So after that, I think it just kind of makes you look at everything different. And I think that's also why I'm like, I'm still here. Let's do this. Like, whatever happens, we can do it.
Yeah. When you face something that is that black or white, it really opens your eyes to, at the end of the day, yes, things are important, but you can only do so much for other people.
Yeah.
Before you just have to say, okay, I can't fix everybody else's problems.
No, and I think it just helps you to kind of appreciate life. And I mean, because I know like in my second, third year of business, like literally something happened every day that I had to fix, and I was just like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? So that's probably when I struggled the most with like balancing my mental sanity and happiness in the business, because it was literally like my AC was going out or like, like something was always happening. So, and as a business owner, if you're in a large shop, you're responsible for that stuff.
You are.
So,
yep, the buck stops here.
Knowing what you know now, would you still have bought the store?
yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't want to do away with it. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. So, I mean, with things slowing down and then picking back up, now I really enjoy it when I have work. It makes me really appreciate it.
Is there an area, a revenue stream that you didn't think would be as good as it is, but all of a sudden something happened and you thought, "Ooh, let me delve into this a little bit more, make some more money doing whether it's events or non-events or plants, anything like that?"
Yeah, definitely.
What was that?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Nice.
Just because it took me a
That's
long time to
fun.
figure it out, you know.
Well, that's the story we're looking for.
Yeah.
But there was something. Did it just show up on the radar one day, or did you know when you bought the store?
No, it took trial and error.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Good for you.
Well, thanks.
So you're sitting here with two self-proclaimed, and also I would say our fans find us to be pretty awesome coaches. Definitely entertaining. Sometimes even really helpful.
And by the way, we had a client today who asked us the same question. We gave her two totally separate answers.
Yes, we did.
But that's what we bring to the table.
It is.
Completely different backgrounds.
Yep.
I mean, we could not have been further apart because my answer was nope. Or my answer was yes, and Trinity's answer was no.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. So, but that's what you get with us. So
It is.
I like it.
It works well.
So you're sitting here with two great coaches. What question would you like to ask us that we can answer for our listeners?
What has been your biggest hurdle?
Oh man, only one? I think of hurdles like our hurdles are more like a track meet. Like, you know, there's 10 of them lined up in a row and you hop over the first two and you're like, yes, but then your toe clips that third one. And before you know it, now you're running into the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and you're like, mother beep.
Whose idea
Whose
was this?
idea was this for me to run in these tiny shorts?
With spikes.
With
yeah.
spikes in my shoes. Yeah. No, but I would say that for us, the biggest hurdle has been one, me learning how to run two businesses at the same time, and how to divvy the time up and how to be available enough to Mike and still feel that I'm being available to my clients, but also not feeling like I'm so available to everybody all the time that I no
Right.
longer have a life.
Yeah,
And,
I can appreciate
and that
that.
was when I was running Hunter Row, I was way more stressed out. You can ask Scott, my husband. I was way, way more stressed out because I had so many people, you know, wanting my attention at all times,
Right.
that it felt like I never had anyone else in my corner that was at the same level. So I think one of the things that is awesome about working with Mike is that I always have that person in my corner that we can brainstorm and bounce ideas off each other. So that makes that hurdle a little less scary because it's still a hurdle and it's going to continue to be a hurdle for me, just to find, okay, where is that ideal balance and what does it look like?
Yeah, I completely appreciate that because, I mean, we touched on that earlier. That is difficult.
It is. And I know
think
that you're
everyone struggles with
balancing
it.
two businesses.
Yeah.
So how do you think that you are thriving in running your two businesses?
Just learning, like you said, learning to say no, kind of, you know, because when too many people want your attention and you're trying to give your attention to everyone, something's going to lag there somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
So just figuring out, like, okay, what can I actually manage? So, like, earlier, I had a call. I needed information on an insurance policy. So I called before I came here, got the information, let my client know, you know, knowing I had to come here. So, and also prepping for everything I have to do tomorrow. My wedding's next week. My wedding's, you know, later in October because I have to have all that stuff purchased. I have to have everything planned. So it's really in the time management. I feel like I've learned to thrive because otherwise it's like a monsoon hitting you.
That is true. Mike, what would you say has been your biggest hurdle?
Mine is getting her on the phone, but I digress.
I've been trying to be better.
You are, yeah, and you are, yeah. Mine is
I'm coachable.
Yes, we both are. And by the way, we introduce each other at our events. That's how well we're getting to know each other. And we introduce each other far better than we introduce ourselves. Mine is because I work from home, and mine is staying focused because I'm real quick to go, ooh. And a lot of people laugh about that, but it's horrible for me. And so I've even asked Trinity, we had a conversation about 3 weeks ago. I said, I need you to turn the heat up on me a little bit keep me. It's like, but you said Thursday we're going to have that done, like, because I don't want to disappoint her.
Right.
So that's mine is the focus. And because we're a new business, is try to understand we may have 19 ideas that we think are kick ass. We better narrow that down to 3 right now, learn those, and then, go that way instead of let's do 9 things, which we preach to our clients. Don't do that.
do it.
Right.
So a lot of times it's actually good for us that we need to walk our own walk.
Oh, yeah.
And that's been the toughest thing for me is working from home and just staying focused and trying to understand her time of her revenue generator.
Right.
And knowing full well that she does want to grow this.
Right.
But I can't take 15 hours a week from her and put it on this. So we're learning each other's strengths. No, well, not yet.
Yeah. No, we could do
get-
that even now.
I get 15 more hours a week from you?
Yeah.
Look,
Thank you.
see? Yeah.
You're recording, right, Jago?
Yeah.
but understand the balance for her and for me to, and we're understanding each other's roles as well. I explain to people that if you're a baseball fan, I'm the starting pitcher. We talk about something and I get it started and then I bring it to my closer. And we were talking about this the other day. We need a one sheet, a template made for one sheets that we put out. She has to do that because I can't match most colors, and square is a good design for me. So I said, look, you're going to have to, because that stress, very few things stress me out. That stresses me out because I really feel stupid and I shouldn't. But as I'm looking at a screen like lines and circles, it's not going to work. So we talked about it. And so she'll design all that stuff. And then I can get the content and just keep changing that out. But that's what we're learning is what's each other's role.
Yeah. And where your strengths are.
And she is so good at that. And I am so sucky at that. It's
and
not
I
even
enjoy
funny.
it.
You
that
do.
To me,
Yes.
I do not get many opportunities in what we do to be artistic. So the moments when I get to write or create something are few and far between, and I just really enjoy getting in there. That's why I like, doing stuff on our website. And
That's your break from
yeah,
reality.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Even though we're still working, it doesn't feel like work.
No, not
Yeah,
yet.
that's kind of how I feel with the flowers.
So Heather, if people are listening to this and they're thinking, man, I need a florist who's also well-versed in the financial realm, how would they get a hold of you?
They can call 919-429-7585, or they can email me at flowercreationsroseville@gmail.com, or visit the Junary website.
Awesome.
Do you ship outside the triangle?
We do. Yes, we do.
So for our listeners in Oregon or Atlanta?
We can ship flowers, and then we can also find other local florists in their area, too,
Okay.
if they prefer that.
So if you don't know a local florist, call Heather, because we
Yes.
trust her, so you should trust her.
Exactly.
And then she'll find you a florist that you can trust.
Yeah, actually, I'm in a large group of florists on Facebook and Instagram, and we are connected all over the world.
Beautiful.
So that way I could find someone for you.
Amazing.
Lovely.
That's why you're the best, girl.
Thank you so much.
And of course, we would love for you, our loyal listeners, to go out, rate, review, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. We are on episode 102.
This will be 103.
Oh, this will be 103. And
That's exciting.
that is super exciting. And we want to know how we're doing. So if you would, for any reason, rate us less than 5 stars, make sure you email me first, because we don't want any of those bad reviews out there if we can do anything about it. Email is info@wiredtochange.com, and that's with the number 2. You can also find us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can always PM or DM us on any of those, and we will make sure that we get right back to you.
Absolutely, but we love feedback. If you have ideas for guests that would be good on the show.
If you yourself would like to be a guest on the show, reach out to us. We're going to have some new fun guests coming up shortly that are going to be joining us virtually next week. So we're super excited about that. And we also are pumped about our ongoing mastermind group. And we will be getting the dates out shortly for our next mastermind group for those that missed out on the first one.
Yes. And we had a lot of fun on the first day today. We know you'll like it because plenty of nuggets around for everybody. as a group think, group effort, and we enjoy kind of spearheading that because we all know the answers. It's just we need somebody to pull them out. And you're like, I know, I need to make those 9 calls a day. I know.
And Heather, thank you for joining us
Yes.
today. Thank you
you
for
for having
being the world's best wedding florist ever. And we appreciate you. We appreciate our listeners. And we'll talk to you next time on our Wired to Change podcast.